Steering system, definition, types, function and components. What is steering system? It is found that the perfect handling of a car makes your journey safe and overwhelmed. This is why a steering is introduced in the automobile industry. The smoother touch of the wheel must be directly with the steering system in order to make it more effortless and precise. It takes a very high-quality steering system and steering parts to achieve an excellent handling. The function of a steering system. Once the rotation of the steering wheel takes place, the vehicle responds to this system. It is responsible for giving a smooth route, which includes steering system, which transmits the movement of the steering wheel down the steering shaft in order to move the wheel either left or right. Components of steering system in car. 1. Return of four-wheel steering. Beneath the swivel of the front wheels there is a steering system of some cars which affects all the four. This has been exclusively found in the sporty and luxury models, where there is an increasing trend towards the feature in more affordable cars. A four-wheel steering control unit is set up behind the rear axle of the car, which affects the rear wheels as per the requirement. 2. Steering box. At the bottom of the steering column there is a worm gear which is fit inside the box. A worm is a threaded cylinder which is similar to a short bolt that turns a bolt which holds a nut on it. Working of steering system. Once the steering wheel is rotated, the shaft attached to it also rotates along with it. This results in rotating the pinion, which is placed on the top of the rack. The rotation of the pinion lets the rack move linearly, also moving the tie rod. Once the tie rod is connected to the steering arm, it lets the wheel turn. The size of the pinion is responsible and has an effect on its turning. In case the pinion is large in size, it means that you shall be getting more number of turns from the less steering wheel rotation that makes it harder to control. Construction of steering system. The ball steering system, which recirculates, has two different gears. One is the worm gear and the other is sector gear. The steering wheel is connected via a shaft which is threaded and is then connected to the block. The worm gear is the one which is quite big and undergoes the block, which is threaded in such a way it allows the worm gear inside. Power steering system. The power steering is added with some more parts and components to the rack and pinion system, which makes it simplified and easy to use. In most of the cases, the pump, pressure tubes, rotary control valve, fluid lines and a hydraulic piston are the common parts of a power steering system. Speed-sensitive steering. A power steering system is commonly referred to as a speed-sensitive steering, wherein the steering is heavily assisted at a very low speed and is assisted lightly in the case of a high speed. Parts of steering system. 1. General system function. In a contemporary power steering system, the pump is used to provide power steering fluid under pressure to the rack and the pinion unit. 2. Power steering pump. It is used to turn the accessory drive belt or serpentine belt in order to develop fluid pressure in the higher side of the power steering hose so that input side of power steering can control valve. 3. Steering coupler. It allows the steering wheel to rotate without binding up with column, because of the fact that input shaft and steering column are not found to be in a perfect alignment. 4. Tie rod ends. This is a component which is attached at the steering rack's end where the steering knuckles, and allows the motion of the rack to be translated into turning the movement of the front wheels. 5. Power steering hoses. It is important to know that there are two main power steering hoses. One is the high side and other is the lower side. Both the hoses are found being attached to the rack and pinion with the help of a threaded brass fitting. The high side hose is attached to the power steering pump using a threaded brass fitting, whereas the low side hose slides are a small pipe which is securely placed with a hose clamp. Types of steering system. 1. Bicycle steering. These type of steering systems are rarely fixed, whereas the front wheel is steered. It is essential to install these for a safe turning, and so the two wheels must roll about a point. 2. Turntable steering or center pivot steering. Once the front wheels are turned, then the whole front axle is turned about the central pivot. In this case, the perpendicular of all the wheels meet at a particular point during the turning. Therefore, the turning is safe and the wheels roll quite freely. 3. Ackerman steering or side pivot steering. Mostly the front axle is pivoted on the either side of the axle as the wheels are mounted on the stub axles. This is why the stub axles are turned by the steering arms and are connected to the tie rod. Thanks for watching.